Good morning. We're here with Legends TV with Evan Ginsberg. My name is Manny Faces. Somehow or another, they let me come and talk to you today for the beginning of this show. We're here every Saturday live at 11 in the morning talking to all kind of exciting individuals from the worlds of art and music and haberdashery and all kinds of exciting things. Again, my name is Manny Faces, and I'll be talking to Evan a little bit later on about things like hip-hop and journalism. We also have John Winnell coming up later, doing some wonderful poetry and some surprises in store, maybe, maybe not. But first today, this morning, I'm very, very honored and pleased and pleasured to introduce you guys to our very first act. A couple of gentlemen that have been doing music for a great long time and do it very well. You will see what I'm talking about in mere moments. Allow me to introduce to you Alpha Halvor and Jerry Scaringe. Gentlemen.
Well, your house is on fire, yeah, the shit hit the fan. What you want is a big, strong man. Well, I'm your man. Well, I'm your man. I'm a natural man. I looked death in the eye with a shrug and a smirk. Snatch from hell, yeah, the mire and the murk. Well, I'm your man. Well, I'm your man. I'm a natural man. When calamity occurs and time stands still, I'll be there with my own will. Well, I'm your man. Well, I'm your man. I'm a natural man. I wrestle with the devil and come out on top. Just call on me when the other shoe drop. Well, I'm your man. Well, I'm your man. I'm a natural man. Well, thank you. All right, this song's about a fat baby. Chopolina, 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 what you trying to do? You wiggle wobble when you walk, goo goo gaga when you talk. But your mama like a hawk, burn a hole in her. Will you pull your brother's hair? But he don't much care. He knows it ain't fair. Just a little chubby, Chopolina, Chopolina. Chopolina, 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 what you trying to do? Well, you're off into the race. Well, you terrorize the place. Leave it a big disgrace for your mommy. You take a thumb and then you suck, and your diaper's full of muck. Don't make that face and might get stuck. that way permanently. Chubalina, 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 what you trying to do? Chubalina, 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 Chubalina. Oh, Alvin, what are you trying to do? Chubalina, 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 what you trying to do? Chubalina, 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 what you trying to do? Well, thank you. This next one is a cautionary tale to young girls. Feedback. You're burning at both ends, baby, in the middle too. If you keep it up now, darling, it'll be the death of you. You better wise up, listen to your priest. If you don't change, the maggots will have a feast. The Undertaker smiles when you walk in the room. He winks at his partner, says, hey man, we'll see her soon. Circle up the wagon, dark circles under your eyes. The buzzards are circling, waiting for their prize. You better straighten up, baby. Straighten up and fly right. I've said a benediction for you, but you haven't had your last rites. Church bells tone, hearses driving slow. Another dead young girl. It's cocaine, don't you know? You'll know what this next song's about. You got divorced for a 40th birthday and a new set of tits. I'm paying for it all and it's giving me fits. You got the house, baby, you got the car. Got my own reserve seat at the neighborhood ball. You got half my check and half my pension too. I'm a financial cripple, I don't know what I'll do. But you ain't got me. No, no, you ain't got me. Well now, you got the building, you got the children, but you ain't got me. You think your girl's gone wild, but you're middle-aged crazy. Even this far along, you never cease to amaze me. Got your bouncy, shaky walk where you jiggle and quiver. And your skirt so short, I can see your liver. But you ain't got me. No, no, you ain't got me. Well now, go do a job on some other pussy because you ain't got me. No, no, you ain't got me. No, no, you ain't got me. Well now, you got the building, you got the children, but you ain't got me. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you ain't gonna leave, baby. I'm glistening. Life would be different if it only could. Life would be different, you know that it should. Life is strange, and so am I. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, 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 hi. Oh, my ladies, man, man's man, man, oh man, I still think I can. Just because I'm a little loner too, don't mean I can't raise the roof. I'm king of the jungle, don't you hear me roaring? I'm all like it up and I'm going out whoring. I'm bluer than blue, punker than punk, funky than funky, country than country. Fat girls divorce Asia, better beware. It's a Saturday night and I'm on the tear. I'm running amok and I'm on the loose. I got just enough rope to make my own noose. Oh, my coiled spring, coiled snake, spitting venom on the make. I'm the slobber from hellhound's jowl. I'm a feral dog on the prowl. My body's worse than my growl. I just arrived from Satan's bowels. I wrote all those other ones. I didn't write this one. I think this is a Junior Parker song. Don't hold me to it. Bring it up to 12. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Pretty baby, can you ride with Daddy tonight? Pretty baby, can you ride with Daddy tonight? Come on, ride with me, darling, while the moon is shining bright. Pretty baby, don't be wasting my time away. Pretty baby, don't be wasting my time away. When I'm mooning with you, darling, feel like I'm 1,000 miles away. Pretty baby, don't you like my automobile? Pretty, 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 pretty baby, don't you like my automobile? When I'm mooning with you, darling, you know how good you make me feel. Pretty baby, can you ride with daddy tonight? Pretty, 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 pretty baby, can you ride with daddy tonight? Come on, ride with me, darling, while the moon is shining bright.
Stretching under sedation, or manipulation under anesthesia, is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
Come on, Bob!
Hey, we're back with Legends TV with Evan Ginsberg. If you've been tuned in so far, it's been a beautiful way to start a Saturday morning. Funky, smooth, Alpha Halvor, Jerry Scarin's doing the thing. We now have a wonderful wordsmith to bring into the mix. John Winnell will be joining the gentleman. And let's get going. Forget me. Let's go.
Let's take it, boys. It's called Night Vision. Tremors within afternoon, blood spilled amidst the confines of a garden. A spider hisses, but the caterpillar wounded rises to shed its skin. Gradually, cold air that shivered every living creature melts away the crust from trees, now beginning to sprout colors as light warms longer shadows. Through the deep petals of water, a jellyfish adds its brilliance to the waves, illuminating thoughts with phosphorescent gel. The clarity of morning releasing us from despair. At the edge of paradise, storms rage in the broken hearts of evening. Windows shake as scratching winds tear fabric and stone. The eyes of the young are ever watchful. They know how to read the tea leaves. Orange Pico prints along the edge of chipped porcelain foretell crumbling mountains that once held fortresses. Trees bend in the rain and rivers carve new paths. We greet the new day somewhat weaker, squeezed by pressures that in some meant disaster, others diamonds that glisten. Beginnings of a new dynasty erected in the shadows of a burnt willow. Soon the sky is free of clouds as winter's light is shed like a tarantula's skin. Spring eases its lengthy shadows and fields of flowers fill with painful sap. Music
like a tattered overcoat, lies barren beneath steel structures that suffer little from the passages of time. Octavia sways in the park. The chess players ensnared in battle quietly destroy their enemies. Along the path, beneath the hanging tree, the murderer sits, wearing red lensed glasses. Pigeons peck food laced along his arms and legs. He watches, back turned to the contours of the green bench. Time seems to have forgotten. He's returned, haunted. He hears whispers. The trees are so old. He reaches in his pocket for seed. As the birds peck gently while dried leaves fall and darkness beckons above the clouds. Even the stars are inadequate. Misty morning, 3 bridges along the highway are ornamented with a daisy chain of lights guiding winter's last breaths. Spring new and bloody arrives on the wings of snowflakes falling from beneath a parachute cover of clouds. Dark desires dream within the wings of reality. Oh, to surf the waves within nightmares of insanity. The evil that lurks below the stairs. Shadows that creep inside the windows when darkness whispers above the covers. Leave scars along the walls of the horizon. Fangs red from a kill drip inside our fragile thoughts. Twisted visions that spew bile, faulting the stars for shedding inadequate light. Burn forever across the galaxy. Curse the sun and etch poison into the ears and eyes of all who'd fallen. Called Lady Day above Grand Street. This is in honor of Billie Holiday. Light creaks through opaque cracks. Grand Street never sleeps. Along these rows of cold water flats, dust and curiosity swim like eels. Music filters within the buzz of broken Spanish and Chinese. Aged shopkeepers sell satin, lace, and watches from behind locked doors. On the edge of a building, a brown wall with names scrawled, nonsense to most, holds tales of young lovers. The old scents of brine and leather abound. Echoes of horses clomp is lifted upon the wings of curious pigeons who scatter at the first sign of rain. I sit by the window for a lone black girl with a silk flower behind her ear to arrive. The ghost of Lady Day, God-blessed child, a lost memory, as the music blaring from open windows holds no meaning. Lilting birds float in the shadow of voices miles from nowhere as broken bottles glint yellow and green. Her eyes bear no witness to these allusions, laughing as the clock stuck at 2:20 just sits along the wall and never completes its furious circle. The girl on the bus. Morning storm cloud. Darkness is not abated at dawn. Mist dances as an aroused field of gray butterflies. Hands stop to catch the light, gently entwining fingers in soft black hair. The paralysis of eternity, the geometry of loneliness, to shudder in the echo of a smile. I'm lost in the wind off the curl of a raindrop, watching as hands are lifted and fingers flutter away. The trappings of solitude.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider on Long Island, with the most inventory in stock, including vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Gates offers a custom powder-coated system that prevents rust throughout the life of the fence. We carry fence tools to the trade. We even stock wood, rail, and glass hardware as well. Shannon Gates has our very own patented locking system. The next time you need fencing of any sort, both commercial and private, give Shannon Gates a call at 631-392-4330. You can also visit our website at shannongatesinc.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
We are back with Legends TV, joined by journalist, radio host Manny Faces. How are you today, Manny?
Good, doing well. Thank you for having me here.
And we appreciate you emceeing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And tell us a little about what you do. You're with Cooley High and Tasty Quiche and Conscious. Tell us about what you've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a couple of online radio show endeavors. One of which is on Bonfire Radio with the good folks there. Congratulations to them. They just acquired a new space, so I know they're very excited to be moving.
Great to hear.
So it's like a very fledgling, up and coming internet radio platform that offers a lot of great people, a lot of great content, and I'm happy to be with them with the Manny Faces show. So I do that every...
The appropriately named Manny Faces show.
I'm not very creative with that one.
That's right.
But that show's been going on for,
So you call it the Many Faces of Manny Faces.
That's it. I could do that. I think, so that show's been going on for some time, so happy about that. Had some, great guests over the last couple of months.
Tell us about a few of them.
Oh, man, I just spoke to, one of the first shows was a gentleman named Joe Conzo. Joe Conzo is still is a photographer for a great many years. One of the things he did was they call him, the New York Times dubbed him the man who took hip-hop's baby pictures. He was a young guy, 17 years old, in the early 70s, taking pictures of the Cold Crush Brothers and some of these real early guys doing things, not knowing anything. He just went to high school with them, He happened to be out there with a camera, in the South Bronx. And went on for many, many years, documented a great many
that was the scene, though.
And not only just the music, but the Bronx is burning. That whole time frame.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So he took all these pictures over all these years. I had him down for an hour-long interview. We talked about everything. He then became homeless at one point. He was a drug addict at one point. Turned himself around. Joined the paramedics, the NYFD. Is now vice president of the union. Been taking pictures all these years.
This sounds like a movie.
His
this is an interesting
His pictures are in the Smithsonian.
That's
and right
what I was going to say.
some of his pictures are there.
Book, right? Is there?
I think he's doing a book. But as of right now, just open at the Museum of the City of New York.
Oh, yeah.
There's an exhibition with him and two other photographers. I can't remember off the top of their head. But they have a great exhibition at the Museum of the City of New York.
There's another guy
highlighting all their photographs.
There's another guy. I wonder if it's the same guy. This guy that designed his own record covers and then he became famous. He was also homeless. It's also on now at the City of New York. He lost everything in storage. Another brilliant guy like that.
There's some stories about some of these folks who just went through it.
Pedro Bell, who did all the P-Funk covers, he had some money issues, and a lot of these guys were never paid what they should have.
Us creatives don't always do the right thing.
yeah, like some of our guests today who shall remain nameless.
That book I would love to see. That's very exciting.
Yeah. So they're on exhibition right now, and Joe Conzo. So that's one of the guys that I happened to stumble across in my hip-hop travels that I wanted to sit down and talk with, and his story was incredible. I mean, he was at 9/11, he helped people. Incredible dude. I salute him.
I have a big question. Has anyone ever done an oral history of hip-hop with all the surviving legends that are out there?
In pieces, I think, and certain.
You're the guy to do it. That would be an awesome project.
I've done some things. I've talked to some of these guys. There's some people who've been doing it for much longer time than I. But there's enough content. What's the one great thing about hip hop in that it's an American genre of music where the pioneers and the architects are still around. For the most part. I mean. Some we're losing some, but they're here. They're still attainable, and approachable.
So what do you think? What do you think of the oldies hip hop packages where you get 5 or 6 acts on one bill? I read one critic said it's really unfair because you get guys like the Rolling Stones who are playing for $900 orchestra seats in stadiums, and the hip hop acts are playing smaller venues.
Right.
What's your take on that?
I read that piece. I actually kind of responded. I like to critique critics sometimes, and I think the gist of that piece was saying that the older hip hop heads or the veteran performers aren't doing so well, and I think it's hard to really, it's apples and oranges to compare the Rolling Stones to even maybe a Public Enemy who was able to tour worldwide and do things. I mean, you're talking about a little bit earlier, a genre that was built on touring and doing stadium. They weren't playing stadiums to begin with. What makes you think that they should necessarily be playing stadiums now? That being said, I think that worldwide, certainly, but I've seen a lot of great veteran hip-hop acts play pretty big venues. They're constantly doing it. I've talked to a couple, on the shows that I do, and they're out there making money, maybe not in the, United States. Maybe they get a little more respect, worldwide. I don't know if that works other genres.
It does.
But they're working, and I don't think it's fair to put them in the same basket as some of the iconic rock groups that can maybe still play a stadium here and there. I think it was a different time period, but I don't think that the older groups aren't getting their just due. I think it's an easy thing to say, People say that hip hop and rap is not the same as it once was, and people it's all new now, and the true school hip hop aren't getting their just due. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that's very surface level analysis.
You mentioned something very interesting, which is a pet peeve of mine. I'm a huge R&B fan, even more so than hip hop, and a lot of the R&B legends make their livings in Asia and Europe.
Yeah.
A guy like Billy Paul is considered a one-hit wonder here, and he's revered over there.
Right.
And they'll go to England and they'll play large venues. And what is it about American culture that we forget the originators and other cultures adopt?
Especially with R&B. I mean, all those in the '60s, people went crazy in England. They really
guys like Jimmy Ruffin and Kid Creole and the Coconuts. They had to move over there to make a living.
It's very sad.
Yeah, and from what I've spoken to, hip hop artists that were big in the '90s, or the golden era of hip hop here. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. It's a matter of
who knows.
Well, is it ageism? Because I hear a lot of young people, whenever anything is old school or old, it's like, oh, that's my parents' music. I hear them say things like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Kids go, oh, that's corny, that's my parents' music. I'm like, what are you, tone deaf?
But Earth, Wind, and Fire, could still play out here. Doesn't have to go to another country.
Of course,
I think with hip hop and some of the R&B, the only thing I could think of, hip hop is a whole different thing. I think hip hop isn't old enough. Remember, hip hop itself as a genre is only 40 years old. Probably only 20 some odd years of that as being a commercial music force. So, being in that age, it kind of paralleled the growth of hip hop. I think people our age they haven't figured it out yet. That there are venues that can, venues don't understand that you can have a great old school hip hop show. They might be afraid of hip hop, so they're not always hosting hip hop shows. They hear bad things about hip hop, but they don't understand that an old school hip hop show is going to be different. You're going to get a different kind of crowd. It's going to.
I would just like to add something. I booked a club called Gizzy's for 3 or 4 years in the Village.
Okay.
And our mutual friend So Soon booked hip hop every Tuesday night for several months.
Right.
There was never one incident. Not one.
I've been covering the scene in New York City for over 6 years pretty intricately, and I have yet to see an incident at any event that I've gone to of significance at all. There's been a couple that I haven't gone to. But that happens anyway. Bar fight is a bar fight, right? I mean, it's the same kind of thing. So I've gone to hundreds of events, hip-hop events in New York City.
Never an issue.
Never an issue. So I think that maybe now that hip-hop's getting old enough, they start seeing some of these old school shows do well. Big Resorts World Casino in Queens has had a couple of really big old school shows. And that place holds thousands of people. So it's happening, and I think that the radio stations are now trying to flip their formats to give some love to classic hip hop as a sub format. So I think they're trying to figure it out. But I think in the meantime, some of those artists were like, I'm going to Japan, I'm going to Germany, where they're gonna show me love. So they've been doing it.
I mean, if that's you want to make a living, you got to go with the money.
But I think that maybe now there are more opportunities for the veterans to get a little more U.S. love, and I think then the younger people. I know I've talked to young people that are hip hop fans that are kind of moving away from the current sound and looking for something else, and some of them are now turning back, what is old is new again, right? And discovering retro acts, or there's some new artists coming out that have sort of a feel of some of the older acts, taking their DNA, updating it a little bit, and bringing a little bit to life. So we're seeing some rebirth of that kind of vibe.
So what's the DNA of hip hop? James Brown, Roger Troutman, who else?
Yeah, well, Fatback Band.
Gil Scott Heron, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Cab Calloway. I mean,
George Clinton.
Yeah, so all of these things. That's what I've always loved about hip hop. My dad was a blues and jazz connoisseur, and that's the music I came up listening. Count Basie on Saturday mornings. That was my Saturday morning. So and that's what's great about hip hop is that because it came from nothing, but it came from everything. So musically, it borrowed and adapted all of these things.
How many hip hop songs have "Funky Drummer" from James Brown on it?
Oh, they did a great either a documentary or like an NPR story about that clip of the Funky Drummer and how often it's been sampled
thousands of times,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Not to mention like unofficial songs because I've sampled it a few times.
I mean, Max Roach said that that hip hop is like a takeoff on jazz. I guess free verse. I think I was at the Brooklyn Book Fair, and Thurston Moore was there with who's from Sonic Youth, but he was there with someone that was a mentor of mine, Tracy Morris, who's a poet who uses hip hop, and he said that he saw Jay-Z early on, and it was like a jazz show. It was just like free verse, just going.
Yeah.
He said he was completely blown away.
Yeah, the vocal aspect of it, because again, people have this very narrow, a lot of times have a narrow-minded understanding of the the lyrical, the vocal. But there's freestyle, which is truly made up on the spot.
I guess that's a jazz.
It's very
so
jazz.
It's coming
it's
from
very
what
jazz.
Max said.
Yeah, it's very jazz. It's there's a Ill Spoken has a
I love Ill Spoken. We want to get him on the show.
He's great. Monthly event called Freestyle Mondays, and what it combines a couple of things in rap, which is like the battle, so the competitive nature, sort of like a slam, right? Where you kind of go head to head. They have a live band, some of the best musicians in New York City, and it's all freestyle, impromptu.
Oh, how exciting.
So they give you a topic, two MCs have to battle each other with the band playing for like a 30-second count, all freestyle, top of the head, no writtens, you don't come in knowing the topic, and it's the closest thing I could say to it, like jazz meets hip hop, musically, all organic, top of the head. It's great.
I used to see Max Roach do 50-minute solo drum shows. He would play everything: the floor, the wall. Yeah. Andrew Cyril also, avant-garde guy.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the best examples of I like straight hip hop where it's a loop, a beat, and an MC. But there are live experiences in hip hop, like the kind we're talking about, that are really a mix of everything that's come before it.
And we always talk about support or lack thereof. Which indie artists should we be supporting?
There's a whole indie scene, and I think it's a matter of finding like who you like and what your style is, because there's so many different types of hip hop. And
so let's say you were going out tonight. Who are 5 people you'd be dying to see?
I'm actually going out tonight.
Right.
I'm not plugging, but here's another monthly organization, another monthly show that goes on. It's called The Lineup. It's at Sidewalk Cafe in the Lower East Side.
Nice
venue. And these guys are called the band called Fuse, and I know them. I've known them for a while. I've supported them myself, kind of like become a fan. I've sat in as a DJ once or twice, which was incredible for me. But I really truly support what they do because of the band called Fuse, you would think fusion. They really do bring a great mix of musical styles and energy. Silent Night is an MC. He's their front man. They're based loosely in New Jersey, New York. And they put on they also used to put on a weekly showcase. And so what's great about them is they're opening the door to musicians to come in and sit with them and play with them. I've seen a ukuleleist. Is that the word? I don't know.
It's not hip hop without a ukulele.
You got to bring the ukulele.
That's right.
Right? Ask Jay-Z, Hawaiian Sophie.
That's fun.
Yeah. So they'll bring in singers and poets and songwriters in a real eclectic mix, and then they jam out, and they're hip hop, but they're a great band, and they're just an amalgamation of like all that I like about the pieces of music and soul and thoughtfulness in their lyrics. So that's the kind of indie artist that I like. I think those kind of artists are actually getting a little boost right now because some of the very popular artists in hip-hop, Kendrick Lamar specifically, is doing so well right now and not having a radio formulaic sound. He's doing some different things. His album has actually been called jazzy in a lot of ways as well. To Pimp a Butterfly, it's the #1 record out. It beat Taylor Swift off the charts, which hasn't happened, for a while. And it's being hailed as it's being hailed a little too much, but it's being hailed as a very classic, great, new, world-class hip-hop album. But a lot of it is because of the music, the variety, the content, the character of the content, what he's speaking about. He's an indie artist that made it big, in essence. He's doing the things that indie artists are doing musically and lyrically, but he somehow made it through the system that doesn't always let that kind of artist reach those heights.
All right. Recommended by Manny Faces.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's the one. He's the one right now. But that is to say, there are plenty of people who are doing music of that quality and that caliber who just didn't have Dr. Dre backing them and didn't make their way through the system.
There's something to be said.
Yeah. So he's doing it, and he should be very proud of his work. And I think it's a great piece of hip hop, for the hip hop annals of history. But I hope that people don't look at it as a one-off, and they look at it as, I want to find more artists like this, because those are the ones that we've been watching on the underground and indie scene for years.
So, as a middle-aged white guy who happens to support and appreciate hip hop.
You talking about me or you?
Me. Well, you too, of course, and John.
Right. I'm only 26. I don't know about you guys.
What do you say to the critics? And I think there's some legitimacy when they, criticize commercial hip hop.
Sure.
For being materialistic, sexist, homophobic, etc.
Sure.
How damaging can mainstream commercial hip hop be?
Damaging. I think it can definitely be damaging because there's in hip hop especially, and I think this argument could be made for any musical genre where you could say, well, that doesn't represent the real spectrum of rock. What you hear on indie,
Sure.
what they would call indie rock or alternative rock.
Right,
That's
right,
not rock. Fine. What you see in opera is not opera. It could be made. The problem with hip hop is that there's often very little balance on the other side. So for everything you hear on the radio, I can tell you about these events that I just talked about tonight.
Sure.
Everything you can come to me with, misogyny. I could show you non-misogynistic, lyricists that are doing great work, or I could show you women MCs that are doing great work in hip hop. Or you can say, well,
At last.
sure,
She's
absolutely,
been on the show.
absolutely,
Yeah.
And I can give you 30 more.
That's right.
So and you can come out with it's there are images of violence, and of course we can make the comparisons to movies and do a whole bunch of things. So we can argue and debate it, and I personally, and I know others could, show you the other side and
Of
say,
course.
well, here's what's here. But in hip hop, you don't really have a lot of that other side on a large scale. It's easy. It's easy to make money, and it's easy to follow that formula to just do the I don't want to say the negatives, but the kind of stuff that appeals to the masses, isn't saying anything, sometimes says the wrong thing, and sometimes gives the wrong image, because that's such a...
Do you think because it plays to like young kids that's what they understand, or
if you don't tell them anything else,
yeah.
I mean, if you don't tell them anything else, that's all they're going to know. So, we come from a time when hip-hop was very varied, and there were messages, and, we had, activism in music that was on the radio.
Right.
But, so we know what it could be. But, young, 18, 17-year-old, and, now just they don't see it. They don't know it exists. So to the same middle-aged folks who don't think that, it's a respectable art form, and to the young kids who really haven't been exposed to anything but what works on the radio, works in a club, they just don't know any better. So it's a matter of...
So that's why guys like you are so important, and Cooley and Conscious and Tasty Quiche, and people out there really supporting quality hip-hop.
Yeah, I think so. And quality is subjective, but yes, I think that alternative media is important in hip-hop, and I've spoken about this on my radio show. It's almost, and specifically New York, being the birthplace of it, being the Mecca, being the where it all started from, and where I still think some people New York City is still the most progressive, most diverse place on the planet for hip hop music and culture, bar none. Period. But that message is getting lost, and I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I look at it as like indigenous tribes in the Amazon. Like, if you don't expose them to the rest of the, they're gonna die out. No, they're not gonna. No one's gonna know about them. Their stories aren't gonna be told. And I kind of look at it as if the New York City hip hop sound. I guess maybe like the punk scene. It just kind of gets quieter and quieter and quieter until maybe it's not really relevant anymore. And I think that would be a shame. So
that's why what you're doing is important. Plug your shows. How do they hear you? How do they read you?
MannyFaces.com is my personal center point that branches off to everything. Birthplace Magazine is birthplacemag.com. It's the #1 website for New York hip hop. We cover all kind of this stuff that we're talking about. Every Sunday night, I'm on internet radio at the New York Hip Hop Report, a radio show. It's live. We sports talk radio style. We take calls and we discuss these things. NYHipHopReport.com. And the Manny Faces Show every alternating Thursdays on Bonfire Radio, themannyfacesshow.com. But to make it easy, mannyfaces.com, it's all there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy to remember.
That's it.
All right. Yeah. And we will be right back with more of Legends TV. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the donuts. We make them at least twice every day. Time to make the donuts. Not a few kinds, like supermarket.
Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts.
But up to 52 varieties.
The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties, fresh day and night. No supermarket can say. Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh.
I made the donuts.
We make them at least twice every day.
Time to make the donuts.
Not a few kinds, like supermarket.
Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts.
But up to 52 varieties.
The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties, fresh day and night. No supermarket can say.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
All right, we are back with Legends TV, joined by virtuoso musicians Jerry Scaringe and Alpha Halvor. How you guys doing?
Very good. Good, very good.
That was a beautiful set, both sets with John the Poet. How you like playing with the Poet?
It was fun. Hopefully we did well. I was a little nervous.
First thing everybody said was you guys should do a CD together. What do you think?
Sign me up.
Yeah, let's do it.
There you go. Magic. Magic. So, Jerry, tell us a little about yourself. Alpha's been on the show 47 times, so we're going to focus a little more on you. Tell us a little about your background.
I'm a retired New York City firefighter.
Really?
Yeah. Now I'm a man of leisure.
Buddy of mine's a firefighter. He says he loves running into burning buildings. He gets into a zone. What's your take on that?
It's when you're doing work, you're doing your work. Yes, you enjoy it.
What was the most harrowing story you have for us? You ever save an old lady or a cat or anything? Yeah.
A guy was choking on steak at the dinner table one time, and they did the Heimlich maneuver on him.
Really? You saved a life. How'd that feel?
Good. It was me and it was 3 of us in the room, so I think he was going out. So
wow, wow. So
I'm his guardian angel.
I hear the women love rappers and firemen. What about that? Yeah.
That could make a song, right?
Yeah.
Rappers and firemen.
Rappers and firemen.
Now we gotta find some rapping firemen.
That's gold. That's gold. So tell us about some career highlights musically, Jerry.
Let me see. I'm in a band, the Slippery Chickens.
All right.
We play around in New Jersey and Rockland, New York.
What genre of music?
With the same stuff as this,
All
with a drummer, and it's 3-piece. Sometimes we'll have a saxophone. Me and Alpha went to high school together, so we started playing together just these last a month about, right?
About a month or so now, yeah.
Really?
What a great
You guys sound like you've been together forever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Beautiful sound, beautiful. Everything
Coming from the
merged.
same area of music, so
yeah,
we just sat down and kicked it around a couple of times, and now we've fell into it together.
Blues, rockabilly, Chuck Berry,
Who are some influences?
New Orleans.
Willie Dixon on the bass. Bill Black.
You didn't spin the bass. I saw Charlie Hayden spin the bass.
Yeah, if I would have spun it, things would have went flying.
What do you think of some of the jazz bassists like Ron Carter?
I'm too much of a hack. I was a harmonica player, and I picked the bass up 15 years ago after I was playing in bands, and I can't play the bass guitar.
Who are some harmonica players? I love James Cotton, Sugar Blue. Who are some guys you listen to?
James Cotton, Big Walter Horton.
There you go.
He was,
Shaky Horton. Yeah.
The original, both Sonny Boys, but the older one that I like is more of my style of stuff. I probably learned more of his style.
Sonny Boy Williams.
I took lessons from Jerry Portnoy, one of Muddy Waters' harmonica players.
Like Brownie McGee, Sonny Terry, those guys. Yeah.
Wow, that's some lineage. And Alpha, what's been doing with you?
Just playing with Jerry. Since the past couple of months, I'm trying to work on something with my son, maybe put a CD together with him. And the sky's the limit. I'm just looking to work. I'm doing a solo gig, my first solo gig next week over at Patty's over in Flushing. You were out there.
Yeah. We gotta go, John.
Yeah. Next Saturday.
It's
night,
a nice, friendly venue, nice owner.
Yeah. And,
maybe we'll have the corn cooked this time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, very nice little place, very friendly, laid back.
Yeah.
Come on down.
It's a good vibe in that place.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a nice place. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell us what you have coming up for us later in the show. We're going to end on a big finale.
Yeah, what song did you have in mind, Jerry?
Maybe we'll do Mystery Train.
Ooh.
Whoa, there you go.
Cool.
There you go. So what's coming up? Any gigs you'd like to plug?
I have a gig tonight in Hawthorne in Westchester with Dynamite, Die, and Destruction.
There you go.
That's
a name for you. Yeah.
A 5-piece band, me and a female singer. We do some duets. She's Dynamite, Die. The band's Destruction. So.
And spell Die.
Oh, don't ask me how to spell that.
Yes, because if anybody wants to look it up on the internet. Die like Diana?
Don't ask me.
Right.
Test me every year to see if I was dyslexic. I'm not. I just can't spell.
All right. So, what's your take on hip hop? We have a hip hop journalist here. Alpha's played with tons of great hip hop artists right here on the show. Cooley High. You backed a bunch of Chaz Kangas.
Yeah, back at Gizzy's, we did a lot of stuff.
And here too. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So what's your take on, backing the hip hop artists, just pure improv, guys you haven't even met?
I love that. I love doing that. Just making stuff up on the fly. That's the coolest thing in the world to
Which is
do.
exactly what you did today with John.
Yeah.
Just coming out, just pouring something out and not thinking about it, just going with it.
Yeah, when you get some the MC, the artists that know how to work that.
Yeah.
It could be how to bring up with you coming up and bringing it down when you come. there's some really good matches that happen. I was talking about there's a couple of events that I go to where it's a live band backing and it's all freestyle, impromptu stuff off the top of the head. So it's very jazzy in its organic nature, and it's a lot of fun. It's great.
Just lay down a simple groove and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Some people that if they don't know what they're doing, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of things happen at Gizzy's where that was the case, but mostly it was a good experience.
And sometimes musicians who don't know what they're doing, they drown out the artist, which is the worst thing you could possibly do.
True.
You know, the artists have to be up front, you know, like you have to hear John's words, and you guys just backed them beautifully.
Good. Thank you.
And speaking of beautiful music, we're going to hear more of it. Anything you like to plug? Website, social media, any?
Just the Slippery Chickens. Me and Alpha will be playing together out somewhere someday soon.
All right, Alpha.
We got to go cold calling and get some gigs.
That's right. We're on the way. When we leave here, we're going to go stop.
Book Alpha and Jerry. John, your book real quick.
Yeah, Poems for Everyday People, and you can contact me, JONWINELL, at Yahoo or at Facebook, and if you like what you heard, and we'll get one out to you.
Apartment 4B, like in Brooklyn, the East Flatbush of the turbulent 60s and 70s, autobiography, short story collection. And Manny, any quick last plug?
No, I'm just doing what I do on a regular basis. Again, birthplacemag.com, trying to tell the New York hip-hop story. Great event calendar there, so we talked about a lot of events, and I encourage anyone who wants to see a little bit more about hip-hop than you think you know to check out birthplacemag.com. Event calendar, we have a pretty wide array of differing styles of events that'll please the palate of any music lover in the world.
One of the true foremost supporters of hip-hop, and you should be thanked and appreciated for it. And we acknowledge you here, Manny.
I appreciate it.
And folks, when we come back, we're going to end with a bang with Alpha and Jerry. Don't you dare go anywhere.
$1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body.
I just want him to love me.
But mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support.
I was scared. I love my baby, but she don't love me. She said she found another, and she wanna be free. She had somebody work, and now she's trading no. I'm paying for it all, and I'm feeling like a chump. She said I'm just a clown, and she gonna put me down. She said she found another, and she left me with a frown. I love my baby, but she don't love me. She said she found another, and she wanna be free. Well, thank you. All right, that song was about plastic surgery. Hey, can I get a little more for the harmonica through the monitor?
Can you give me a little more?
16 coats long. Trina ride 16 coats long. Well, that long black train took my baby and gone. Train, coming down the line. Train, coming down the line. Well, it took my girl away, 'cause she's mine, oh mine. Train, coming round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my girl away, and it won't be back again. Mine, oh mine, she's mine, oh mine, she's mine, oh mine, she's mine, oh mine.